Well, the thing is, sometimes you apply for a Navyfed credit card, and the credit card application is under review for 2 days or 5 days and whatnot, and you have no idea what to do. So in today's conversation, we are trying to understand what Navyfed credit card application under review means, what the steps you need to take, and more importantly, how to make sure that your credit card application is approved ASAP. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flow with the stinging kind of beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I am doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about Navyfed credit card application under review. So the bottom line is you applied fair and square to a credit card from Navyfed, and long story short, they just been ghosting you. You have no idea what's going on, and you want to have clear answers, right? So today, I first want to talk to you about the time. So how long does it take for Navyfed to review a credit card application? Generally, if your credit score is okay, if your financial situation is okay, it takes about 24 to 48 hours. It never takes more than 3 days, okay? Now, if there are problems, if there are situations where you probably have bad credit or you can't verify your information or other stuff, it might take 7 to 10 days, okay? It's important to understand that it also depends on how you apply for the card in the first place. Did you apply at a branch? Did you apply online, or did you apply over the phone? So the conduit through which you applied also has an important meaning, okay? One thing I need to say also is that sometimes Navyfed needs additional time to review a credit card application and make a final decision. Even though everything is fine, even though you have the perfect financial situation, your credit score is just fine, it's just a lot of things going on, okay? And when we talk about application pending or under further review, what do those two things mean? Well, you need to understand that Navyfed is just trying to buy time. Okay, if your credit card application is not approved right away, in other words, you just click on the approve button online and you don't see a positive message, this just means that the algorithm does not recognize anything in your data. It's all about your data. Okay, it's all about your financial situation. It's all about your credit score. It's also about your Navyfed internal credit score. There is a strong correlation about those things, and nobody seems to talk about it. Everybody talks about your Fico score. Okay, yeah. Navyfed takes into account your Fico score, but they also take into account your Navyfed internal credit score. Okay, so if there is a gap, if there is a delta between your Fico score and your Navyfed internal credit score, this could cause your application to be under review. Because I really want to dig a little further here, and I really want to talk to you about the reasons that can make your credit card application under review. Okay, so what are the common reasons? Well, first of all, the information you included on your application might not match the information on your credit report, and that happens a lot. And a lot of people are just surprised. I don't understand how everything is fine, and I applied, and like they even sent me a pre-qualification, and I applied, and I just I'm frustrated. Hey, cuz don't be frustrated. Don't hate the game. You need to understand the game. All right. So if you put data on your credit card application, let's say the address, for instance. Let's say you live in New York, and right now you are in Maryland, and there is a disconnect between the data that you have on your credit card application and the data that you have in your credit report. The algorithm is not seeing synchronicity here. So those two sets of data must be harmonious. This is very important, okay? Maybe you accidentally mistyped your phone number, for example, or perhaps you recently moved and your credit report hasn't yet updated to reflect your new address. So those are things that could really put your application under review. Or you recently applied for a lot of new credit. Okay, so recent credit inquiries have a big impact on your credit card application and FICO score for that matter. So, this is something you really need to think about, right? So don't apply for multiple credit cards or loans or revolving lines of credit before applying for a Navy Federal credit card or any other credit card for that matter. It's all about making sure that you actually strategize over the number of recent inquiries and recent credit applications that you put out there. The third thing is that Navyfed, in some cases, they might suspect identity fraud. In other words, Navyfed is continually analyzing patterns. So if, for instance, you live in Texas and you've been doing your shopping, you've been using your credit card or your debit card in Texas, and all of a sudden somebody applies for a new credit card under your name in Alaska, do you see that? That's where I'm going. So you have a disconnect. So they pay attention to synergy, or it has to be consistent. So patterns of purchasing, patterns of spending, those must be consistent. And if there is a gap, the algorithm will put the whole credit card application on hold. Now, Navyfed might also actually put your credit card application under review. For instance, if they need to verify your application. Okay, I'm talking about, for instance, your income information. Let's say you 2 years ago, you actually applied for a credit card or a loan or whatnot, and you put, I'm making 40 grand a year. And all of a sudden, on your new credit card application, you put in, I'm making $80,000 a year. Brother, sister, don't you see there is a big gap here, right? Unless you actually have been promoted at work, that gap, that jump is too high. So the system will automatically put your credit card application under review. And so, see, the common thread in everything I'm telling you here is consistency. There has to be logic. There has to be what I call consistency, in the sense that if you have a job and you're making money and you put another type of information that does not sync with what you had previously reported, this could be a problem. Okay. Or another reason why your credit card application from Navyfed might be under review is if NFCU is overwhelmed with applications. And that's one thing people don't understand. Navyfed is a prominent credit union. Okay. They receive thousands of credit card applications every single month. People want to apply. So maybe the backlog is just huge. And those things have to be processed. And remember, not every credit card application goes through the algorithm, right? So if you apply manually, if you apply at a branch, if you apply over the phone, some portion of it is handled manually. So you're talking about hiring people. You're talking about the back office of a Navyfed taking care of the applications, manually reviewing their credit risk department, going through credit card applications and making sure that they are basically setting the right limit for all cards. Okay, so if Navyfed is overwhelmed, if they have lots of applications pending, you just have to be patient. Okay, because there's nothing you can do. You don't have to panic. There's nothing wrong with your credit card application. It's all about just being patient and just wait it out. I want to talk to you about the steps you need to take if your application is pending. So I've already made it very clear, do not panic, okay? If your credit card application from Navyfed is pending, the best thing you can do is be patient, okay? And the thing is that Navyfed usually will get back to you within 1 or 2 days, but if they don't, there must be something. So there are 4 things you can do, 4 quintessential things you can do. Now, don't do all of them at the same time. You want to do them in succession, okay? First, you want to watch the mail. So nearly, I would 95% of times, and Navyfed will get back to you. They will basically send you information about your application through the mail. So whether they want to congratulate you or if they deny your ass, they'll just explain why your credit card application was declined. So you want to check your mailbox regularly to make sure you haven't missed any letters. Here I'm talking about snail mail, regular mail, okay? USPS dropping mail in your mailbox. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing is to monitor your email, okay? So your credit card application decision will often arrive by both postal mail and email. And in most cases, you will receive the email first. So you want to keep an eye on your inbox. And don't forget to check your spam folder. Very important to check your spam folder so that NFCU, first of all, you want to white mail, you want to put in your contact any email from NFCU. You can also, and that's option number 2. Option number 3, you can log into your online portal, right? So let's say if you have an online account with the credit union, you can log into your online portal to check the status of your new credit card application. Okay, this is kind of cool because NFCU will notify you there. They'll let you know about their decision. Now, it might take a few days to get the physical card that you are putting in your wallet, but the decision itself, whether it is a yay or a nay, you can see that decision right there. And the fourth option is just call customer service. Oh yeah, if you can't just if you just want to find out quickly, just call them up. So the number is 1-888-842-6328. 1-888-842-6328. Okay, so basically call them up, ask about your credit card application. They're going to ask your first and last name. They will ask you your social security number and give them the right information. And normally the rep should be able to give you the info you're calling about. So, boss, now let's talk about approval. So, how long does it take Navyfed to review and approve a credit card application? I've said it before, 1 to 2 days if everything is fine, 7 to 10 days if you have problems with your with a portion of your information. The thing that's important to understand is that Navyfed has a system in place where they automate the whole thing. All right, from the application, in other words, from the time you actually put in the info to make sure that the algorithm will review the info and actually gives you a decision quickly, to the time where you receive your actual physical card in the mail. Those things are being automated. Now there are exceptions where, hey, listen, and I've given you the reasons before where things don't go according to plan. Now, things don't go according to plan. No reason to panic. Okay, and not everybody can get instant approval. Cause brother, sister, mother, father, that's the point I'm trying to make. Because everybody wants, we live in a society where everybody wants things instantaneously. I want it instantaneously, instantly. No. Not everybody will have an instant approval on their credit card, and it is okay. And we got to get to a situation where we accept to wait, okay? And by the way, what is instant approval and how does it work? Well, instant approval credit cards from Navyfed or other credit card issuers are exactly what they sound like. In other words, when you apply for an instant approval card, you will get your approval decision as soon as your application is completed. Okay, and NFCU will take a quick look at your credit score and credit history before deciding whether to issue you an instant approval credit card. So they pay attention to 2 things, actually 3 things. They pay attention to your credit score, they pay attention to your credit history as a whole, and they pay attention to your Navyfed internal credit score. Okay, and those 3 elements actually are correlated to your financial situation and your income. Okay, so the thing here is that not everybody will qualify for that. So if you have a history of an impeccable relationship with Navyfed, chances are you can be approved. You can actually receive an instant approval credit card. But if you do not receive that, that's okay. See, the point I'm trying to make here is that you have to actually keep your expectations reasonably. If you don't get the card right away, wait a few days and take action. It's all important to take action. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sort of Kiwi Show. I'm still having a conversation with you about Navy Federal credit card application under review. Okay, so if you ever happens to be in that situation, I'm giving you the tips and tricks, the hacks you need to make sure that you do everything properly so that you get the card you need with the limit you need. That's really important. Okay, and you need to understand. I want to give you some keys to Navy Federal credit card application. So the most fundamental elements that NFCU will concentrate on include your credit history. So again, when I'm talking about your credit history, I'm speaking dually. I'm speaking about two things. I'm speaking about your credit score that everybody knows, your Fico score, right? This is your external score, your exogenous score. Everybody knows that, and but I'm also talking about your Navy Federal internal credit score. So you really want to make sure, and even though there is a strong correlation between the two, you gotta have a clear idea of what those scores are. Okay, and if you have applied for a Navy Federal credit product in the past and have been denied, chances are they have communicated to you your Navy Fed internal score. Your FICO score, it is a public element. It is a public piece of data that you can check either on annualcreditreport.com or at Credit Karma or at the Nerd Wallet or at the Wallet Hub. You actually have several sources where you can actually check your credit score. Okay, so that's the first thing. So Navyfed pays attention to your credit history. They also pay attention to your income. So when we talk about income, we are really I'm speaking about income writ large, income in the broadest sense of the term. Okay, income can come from a 9-to-5 job. Your income can come from a side gig you have. If you're self-employed, if you are an independent contractor, you get income from your activities, right? You can get income from investments. So income, I'm really broadening the sense here. So don't you think about 9-to-5 generally being a source of income only. And Navy Federal also pays attention to your cash flow history and projection. In other words, Navy Federal, especially if you have a direct deposit with the bank, they actually analyze, not a bank, direct deposit with the credit union, they pay attention to your cash inflows and your cash outflows. From that, they can derive some kind of analysis about, oh, okay, this person is really doing well, or this lady is not really doing well, and she is constantly having NSF, she constantly having non-sufficient funds, so there might be a problem. Navy Federal also will pay attention to your relationship with them, okay? So I'm still giving you here some tips and tricks and hacks and in making sure that you avoid the situation we are talking about, right? We are speaking about Navy Federal credit card application under review, which is not a bad place to be, but this is not a right place to be either, right? So if you want to avoid that, make sure that you strengthen your relationship with Navyfed. Because, brother, father, mother, sister, aunt, uncle, I'm talking to you about establishing a stronger relationship with Navyfed. You know, the funny thing is, you know, we hear this all the time. We speak to people and people tell us, yeah, I have a relationship with Navyfed. Well, how much money are you parking with the institution? When we speak about multi-product relationship, we are speaking about having multiple accounts with them and where you have a reasonable, decent amounts of money. We're speaking about deposit accounts here, right? We're speaking about checking accounts, savings account, IRAs, MMAs, money market accounts, CDs, certificate of deposit. Talk to me about that, boss. Speak to me about your ability to establish a great relationship with Navyfed. I'm not just talking to you about words. Oh, well, you know, I've been with them for 5 years and they know me. Yeah, I've been with them for 20 years. You've been with them for 20 years. How much money are you keeping on average as balance? Are you keeping $5? $20, and you want to get a credit card with a $25K limit? Come on, boss. So you want to beef up your NPR with Navyfed. And Navyfed, before approving you, they also pay attention to existing credit products that are open. In other words, the Navyfed products you currently have open, they look at that too, because they are thinking about your credit exposure, their exposure to you as a borrower. So if you have a revolving line of credit, if you have a loan, if you have other credit cards from Navyfed, they might be unwilling to give you an additional credit product in the form of a credit card. Because, hey, listen, Navyfed is an institution that manages credit risk very thoroughly, and they don't want to actually expose themselves too much vis-a-vis you. And in some cases, Navyfed also pays attention to your character. Oh yeah, a lot of folks believe that, when you talk about credit card application or a loan application, the decision is only quantitative. No, brother, no, sister. In some cases, the decision is also qualitative. They pay attention to your character. I mean, especially if you have the right NPR with them. Well, what are people telling about you? What is the information about you on social media? What is your reputation in general in the community? So, the bottom line is that most credit card applications from Navyfed are likely to be processed within a couple of minutes, okay? Whether you're applying online or with the phone. Now, if you apply at a branch, it might take a little longer. I'm talking about 1 day or 2 days tops, okay? So it can be frustrating, really, to see a pending status on a credit card application, right? And because you're just thinking, okay, there must be something wrong with my application. Navyfed wants to, they need more time, okay? So the best way to avoid a pending status is to provide complete and accurate. Those are two things I want you to pay attention to. Complete and accurate information on your application, okay? However, sometimes NFCU wants to investigate further for a reason beyond your control. So whatever the reason, make sure that you wait, and if you don't hear from them after 3 or 4 days, take action, okay? Call, check your inbox, check your mail, or go to a branch. You could do a lot of stuff. All right, bro. This is really what I want to talk to you today. I spoke about the timing. I spoke about the reasons. I'm just recapping here. The steps you need to take, the approval, the tips, and the recap. I'll talk to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.